In the heart of Venice, where canals whispered ancient secrets and gondolas glided like graceful swans, there lived a boy named John. John was unlike the other children in his neighborhood. His soul thrived on music. From the tender age when his fingers first touched the keys of an old piano in a dusty attic, he knew that music was his truest companion. Every day after school, John would rush home to the small, sunlit room where the piano stood. With practiced fingers, he would coax melodies out of its weathered keys, lost in a world of his own making. His parents, who owned a cozy cafe along a bustling canal, would smile knowingly as they heard his music float out into the evening air. One crisp autumn afternoon, a group of traveling musicians arrived in Venice. They set up their instruments in the main square, drawing a crowd with their lively tunes. John stood on tiptoe at the edge of the gathering, his eyes wide with wonder as he watched fingers dance across strings and bows glide over violins. One of the musicians, a kindly old man with a silver beard and twinkling eyes, noticed John's rapt attention. Between songs, he beckoned John closer and handed him a tambourine. "Join us, young one," he said with a warm smile. Shyly at first, John tapped out a rhythm that matched the beat of his heart. The musicians nodded approvingly, and soon John was caught up in the whirlwind of music, his tambourine adding a lively pulse to the melodies that filled the square. From that day on, John's days were filled with music in every form. He joined local bands, learning to play the guitar and violin, and even picked up the accordion with gusto. His evenings were spent performing with his newfound friends in the bustling piazzas and quaint alleyways of Venice. But amidst the joy of music, John never forgot the piano in his small room overlooking the canal. It was there that he composed his own melodies, inspired by the ebb and flow of Venice's tides, the laughter of children echoing through narrow streets, and the melancholy notes that seemed to linger in the misty mornings. As John grew older, his reputation as a talented musician spread throughout Venice and beyond. Tourists and locals alike would flock to his performances, drawn by the passion and soul he poured into every note. Yet amidst the applause and adoration, John remained humble, always grateful for the gift that music had bestowed upon him. Years later, as the sun dipped low over the rooftops of Venice, John stood at the edge of the canal where he had first heard the call of music. The water shimmered like liquid gold beneath the fading light, and a sense of peace settled over him. From a nearby cafe, he could hear the familiar strains of piano music drifting out into the evening air. Closing his eyes, John smiled. For in Venice, where the echoes of centuries past mingled with the laughter of today, he had found not just a home for his music, but a sanctuary for his soul, a place where dreams were born and melodies danced upon the gentle lapping of the Venetian waters.